Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about the 13.1 preview for League of Legends. So in this patch we have a couple other changes. These will be the changes which go into the new season. So let's go through them. The first one is a buff to AD Shaco. Makes sense. AD Shaco is a bit more weak side at the moment. Could be dangerous with Axiom also being nerfed, but for the most part, a pretty safe buff. Jace. This one's surprising. Jace is a very strong top laner at the moment. Definitely in one of the better spots he's been in. There's a chance if they buff him now, he becomes really oppressive in pro play, which is a concern. But for the most part, if this doesn't affect pro play, then for solo queue, it's probably a good buff. But yeah, it's when it starts leaning towards pro play, then it becomes a problem. Lissandra is a very response champion. She's not bad, just has to be played as a response. With this, maybe she'll be played as a AP burst mage more, rather than a utility mage with the Everfrost and the Aftershock. I definitely prefer her AP build. I think it allows for more creative plays, rather than just being a nullifier and a counter pick into something like LeBlanc. Sion needed a buff. Sion has been the worst tank, I believe, in the game for a while now. Sion's really struggling. He gets countered by a lot of the top lane meta. There is a chance that when Sion gets buffed and a bunch of the top lane meta gets nerfed, Sion becomes really strong, but if they go lightly with the buffs, then we'll see. Axiom Arc, this item's basically been null since the nerfs it received when it got released, reducing the cooldown on the ult from 25 down to 20%. That was a really big tag on the item. It's not terrible, it's just not great, and it can only be used by selected champions. There's a chance that if they buff Axiom too hard, something like Nocturne becomes OP in the jungle. Nocturne being very strong at the moment could be dangerous. Horizon Focus, this makes sense as well. Not a lot of champs build Horizon Focus. It's a very artillery based item, so something like Xerath will benefit from this. Roa needed buffs. It was probably the worst mythic in the game. What is funny is how every single mythic in the preseason hasn't landed correctly and is probably going to receive changes within upcoming patches. Roa obviously being too weak, Jaxo feeling bad and being too used by bruisers, Heartstone being low elo skewed. What other ones have we got? Iceborne is obviously too niche as well, like Radiant Virtue. Problem with Iceborne is it's got armor in the item, hard to hit quite badly, rather than a split of both. Winter's Approach also being buffed, but it's pretty big. Winter's Approach has definitely fallen off. It would have been nice to have seen Warmogs on this list as well. I'd say Warmogs definitely needs a buff. It no longer synergizes as well with the current tank mythics as it used to. So, could probably see some buffs towards that at some point. Champion nerfs. Aatrox, this makes sense. Aatrox has if Aatrox didn't get nerfed, I would imagine he'd be the highest pro top laner in pro play. He's very strong at the moment. You can go with Ravenous Jaxo, Ravenous Eclipse, Gore Drinker, Eclipse build, stuff like this. All of them have options, and it makes him pretty strong at the moment, so it doesn't surprise me he's being nerfed. Mundo, obviously too strong at the moment. He's kind of been plaguing the game since his update, where he received the E bonus AD, and where his R bonus AD got transferred to his E, and his R got pushed more towards a heal and health increase steroid. So we'll probably see a nerf to Mundo. If it's an early game nerf, then they're definitely pushing towards keeping him in low elo. If it's a late game nerf, then maybe they're trying to balance him out. Fiora, this one's been a long time coming. Fiora's been very strong for a while now. Ravenous First has been really good on her. Plus you can go Triforce, Gore Drinker, Sundara, all these are really good options. K'Sante is broken in pro play. He is one of the most oppressive champs to have ever been released in pro, and we've seen it in the Demacia Cup, the China thing which happens in China, and it's looked really strong, so it doesn't surprise me that enough K'Sante going into the new season. Mordekaiser, I'm surprised Mordekaiser's being nerfed with Jaxo being adjusted. This one really surprises me. He's not as strong in the top lane as he is in the jungle, but they were getting fairly close in win rates. Plus, it was the changes were implemented in a hotfix as well, so his win rate will continue to go down. If they nerf Mordekaiser, it would probably be fairly lightly, but we'll see. Rammus is a case of he's really strong in the jungle at the moment. He gains a lot out of the green smite, well, smite in general, now that it's been adjusted to having resistances attached to it. Yuumi is going to be nerfed until her rework, from what I know. Yuumi is just... Yuumi is a balancing nightmare, so that's kind of the logic behind that one. And she's pretty good in pro, so yeah. Zeri is fairly balanced in solo queue at the moment, but I'm pretty sure we're concerned about her taking over in pro, so they're just nerfing her as a kind of just to avoid it being a problem. Yeah. Legend Tenacity being nerfed. This one surprises me, because Legend Tenacity, I wouldn't say it's one of the strongest minor runes in the game, but it has a lot of value when the champ doesn't really benefit from either Alacrity or Bloodline. Bloodline probably being the most niche out of all of them. Kind of surprising. Jack's midscope, this is where his R is becoming an active, well, his R is getting an active ability where he swings his stuff around and does some damage. We'll have to see if Jax goes towards AP or AD. Might be really strong on release, we'll have to see. Jaxo is being adjusted to make it less strong on bruisers and more strong on tanks. I hope they make it more satisfying at the same time, but we'll see tomorrow. And Seraph's Embrace is being reverted from what I remember. Seraph's is probably going to be adjusted back to old Seraph's where it gave more AP rather than being a CDR item like it currently is. So that's the overall preview for patch 13.1. We'll see the full list tomorrow when we get all the numbers and stuff. Definitely be covering that, so if you want to see that, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.